The day is now complete in day one of the women's NCAA tournament here from Storrs, Connecticut. The UVM women taking on UConn today, and the Catamounts knew it was going to be a tough one.
And Ken, it wasn't the upset of the century we were looking for right behind us on the Gamble Pavilion. Hardwood as the UConn Huskies had their way with the Catamounts. We'll take a look at some highlights right now. The Huskies came into this game as 35-point favorites and looking to start another long tournament run and add to an equally long tournament resume. The first thing a fan would notice in this game is a size difference. Each player matchup was a mismatch for Vermont. That's displayed right here. The three misses, but Alea Edwards grabs the offensive board and powers her way to the glass for the and one. The other way, Emma Utterback finds Maria Michaelbus at the top. The triple is good, and that's as close as it will get the rest of the way. Huskies with full court defense most of the first half, and it pays off here. The steal, free passing draws the shooting foul, free throws made. Second quarter, and Michaelbus tries to go into the paint, but is denied by the reach of Dorka Juaz. There's the height advantage once again. Then Vermont makes back-to-back threes. Here's the first. The bank is open for Catherine Gilwey. She heats up after that. The sophomore finished with a team-high 14 points. In the second, UConn only kept its pace up. Here's a good cut to the basket by Juaz as the Huskies continue to roll, and then another steal for the UConn defense. Up the floor with speed, tic-tac-toe, and Edwards finishes the play in style. And the Huskies do what is expected, beating Vermont by a final of 95-52. With this team's size, stature, and ability to find each other on the floor, it's going to take a lot to knock them out of this tournament. The Huskies shot nearly 62% from the field while holding Vermont to 33.
I think the physicality we saw of conference compared to UConn, I mean, UConn is a crazy program in itself, and you never really can be as prepared for the physicality whenever we aren't as tall, and so whenever we're practicing to play them, we don't have that strength and size to replicate in order to prepare for them.
The outcome is what it is, but I am really proud. I think we stayed true to who we are and kept fighting, and we didn't give up. Again, I felt like we played with more confidence offensively for most of this game than we did in the championship game. And so now it's a little taste, and I hope they stay hungry and want more of this.
We're going to get back there. We want to be back here. We worked our butts off all season to get here, so we're not done. We're done for the season, but we're not done next season. We have a goal, and we're going to accomplish it.
And so Vermont's season and 17-game win streak come to an end in the round of 64 to the UConn Huskies.
Now, Taylor, I got a chance to talk to the legendary coach in the other locker room, the UConn coach, Gino Auriemma, and I asked him what he thought about his latest victim, if you will, the Vermont Catamounts.
They have a game plan. They have their rotations down. They know how they want to play. They've played true to that for the last 17 or whatever games, that they've won in a row. I just like how well organized they are and how well they run their stuff on both ends of the floor and how well coached they are.
A great honor for the Cats who actually hear that from a Hall of Fame coach. Now, the Catamounts here in UConn, they didn't come alone because whenever Vermont teams go to a national tournament, as they have, they always bring their fans with them. If you see the UVM logo, an army of green and gold will always be following them, and that was the case here in Storrs, Connecticut this weekend. As the Cats prepared for their biggest game of the season, their biggest supporters were making their way to the arena. They're always easy to identify. Just look for the ones wearing the green, the gold, and the yelling, "Go Cats, go." I talked with a couple of UVM's fans prior to tip-off.
Very excited. Basketball's a good sport to watch. UConn's going to be tough. Everybody knows that. But if Vermont can keep the game close, I think they've got a good shot of winning.
Oh, so excited, particularly for the team. They've worked so hard this year, and they've stayed cohesive. They've stayed wonderfully supportive of their fans, and so this is the least we can do for them.
Leslie said the proximity of Connecticut to Burlington had nothing to do with making this trip. She would have traveled anywhere, and that she hoped to be back here on Monday. Unfortunately for Leslie, all the rest of the fans, and the Catamounts themselves, there will be no game for the Cats on Monday as their season has now come to an end, but the future still looks bright.
Absolutely, Ken. I mean, winning a conference championship and making it to the NCAA tournament despite the outcome, well, that puts your team on the map, and then that makes players want to come play for the team, play for the Vermont Catamounts. And of course, that 17-game win streak, which concluded with the America East Championship, doesn't hurt Vermont's notoriety either. Coach Kresge talked her excitement for the offseason and looking for ways to improve her team.
I came to Vermont on the history, and that was not recent history, and now it's here. So I think players can see once again, Vermont has done it in the past, and we're getting back to it, that you can win at the University of Vermont. It's a special place. They support women's basketball, women's sports across the board. It's a big recruiting tool, and we want winners, and winners want to come and do this kind of stuff. So I think it goes both ways. If they're excited about that, then we're excited about them because they want to be a winner.
Now that the offseason has begun for these Catamounts, some questions surround the team, none bigger than the futures for seniors Emma Utterback and Delaney Richardson.
Neither have yet confirmed if they will be back for their COVID year and get a 5th year like a lot of athletes are currently getting over these couple years. But as soon as we find out if they are, we'll of course let you know.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for us reporting from the beautiful Gamble Pavilion at UConn. For Ken Drake, I'm Taylor Viles for Sports. We'll be right back.